A very good evening, dear Toastmaster and guests. Toastmaster International is a non-profit organization initiated by the leader Rags Ismail with the sole motive to improve communication and leadership skills among the members across the globe. Toastmaster International has 15,009 clubs, more than 345,000 members in 142 countries. Wordsmith Toastmaster Club is one among them. Toastmaster International works on four pillars of values, namely RISE. R for respect, I for integrity, S for service, and E for excellence. The mission of the club is to provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. Before starting the meeting, here are some code of conducts. Kindly check if your mobile is in switch off or silent mode. Speakers who are coming to the podium to refrain from speaking on sex, religion, and politics. When speaker is on stage, kindly refrain from walking and going out of the hall as it might distract the speaker. Members are requested to come in professional attire. It's time to start the meeting. For the benefit of guests, all Toastmaster meetings shall be started and ended by one person called presiding officer. Today's presiding officer is Toastmaster Nitya Kannan. She is a Toastmaster since 2012 and a homemaker and a blogger too. Thank you and over to you, Toastmaster Nitya.
Thank you, Toastmaster Nishant, for the warm welcome. There was a very learned man who knew a lot of things and he had a lot of knowledge. He had heard about a wise, enlightened master. So he decided to go to him and acquire more knowledge. So he goes to this wise, enlightened master and he told him, look, I am an expert in a lot of things, but I have heard that you know so much of things. So teach me what you know. This wise, enlightened master gave him a fine chair to sit and welcomed him. And he said, before I teach you what I know, I am going to offer you a cup of tea. And then this wise, enlightened master gave him a cup of tea. But before this learned man could lift up the cup of tea, the wise master started pouring more tea into that cup. He went on pouring, and the tea started spilling out of the cup onto the table, onto the floor. This learned man said, stop, what are you doing? The cup is already full. The wise master said, precisely, I can only fill an empty cup. Dear Toastmasters, when we meet people or interact with them, we should see that we don't keep any preconceived notions or any bias in our minds about them or their responses to us. This will help us to avoid any bias or any judgments about them. And we should also welcome other people's opinions with wholeheartedness and an open mind. So on this, and I have seen that when I have adopted this attitude, it has brought so much of harmony in my relationships with people. So on this harmonious note, I declare the meeting 6:53 open. Before starting the meeting, I would like to welcome our guests for today. So could the guests please introduce themselves? I can see Chaitanya.
Hello, hi Nitya, good evening. So I'm Chaitanya, I'm a working professional. I'm working for a software-based company which is in Chennai, and I'm a lead consultant here. So I wanted to understand what Toastmasters is about. I already attended the previous session. I'd like to attend another session and see whether this would be the right place for me to shine.
Okay. Yeah. Nice to have you with us. I can see this Karthik. Could you please introduce yourself?
Hi Nitya, good evening. Karthik here. I'm working in Chennai and I'm working in MFOs in Delhi in a manufacturing company in accounts department. I have attended the previous meetings and I want to join and learn about Toastmasters. That's why I joined and I'll be attending all the further meetings also. Thank you so much, Nitya.
Thank you for attending our meeting. So before we start the meeting, today's meeting is going to be a little unique because it is a speech marathon. And to conduct and take us through the meeting, we have a Toastmaster of the day. Today's Toastmaster of the day is vibrant and she is very inspiring for her leadership skills. So much that even I look up to her for guidance and suggestions. She is a final year student of visual communications. Let us all get together to give a warm welcome for the Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Anandita.
Thank you, Toastmaster Nitya. Honestly, I really don't know whether my leadership skills are that properly, but anyway, thank you so much. But okay, let's move on to the meeting. So, good evening, everyone. And today I'm the Toastmaster for the TMOD, which is Toastmaster of the Day. Just a small disclaimer before I move on to the meeting. I've just prepared for my TMOD script today as I was held up with all my entrance exams and all other academic stuff. So please bear with me. So yeah, so coming to today's theme, emotions, emoticons and emojis and human emotions. So I don't, how many of you were there during when you first used your first emoji in your emails or whatever? How many of you use a semicolon and the bracket, which meant a smile, or a semicolon and a open bracket, which meant a sad face? So that's when the history of emojis actually started. So basically, I'm just going to be talking about the history of emojis and how the stuff that we see on WhatsApp and everything that you used to react to came in place. So the first set of emojis were sort of invented or created or whatever you like to call it in 1997. So this was first done by a Japanese person, and there was an old phone at that time called J phone. So they wanted to add this creative, awesome, something that sets them apart from the other phones during at that time. So they added these emojis that look pixelated, to be honest. I'll just share an image of that. Just give me a minute. So these were the first emojis that were there in this phone called J phone. They were really pixelated, and as you can see, they are not the regular emojis that we see on WhatsApp or Instagram or wherever you use it. So this is when the era of emojis actually started. It went on till the present day. So according to me, emojis are something that you can just send it without actually typing anything out. So when I feel like laughing, I can just send a laugh emoji or just use it like this and just say that I'm laughing. Or it can mean something as well. So who knows? Instead of sending a long text saying that's really funny, I really love it, I can just send this. And or when I'm not in the mood to chat, or when I'm really pissed off something, I can really use the lines and the mouth that emoji. So all emojis that you can see convey a certain meaning, and for every emotion that there is there. And we have come a long way in that, right? So yeah, so this is all about emojis, and I'll be talking more about it in the forthcoming segments. So now coming to the proceedings of a meeting. All Toastmasters session have 3 major sessions, which is the prepared speech session, which speakers will be giving their speeches based on certain manuals that they have. The second session will be a table topic session where you will be put on the spot by the table topics master to speak on a random topic for 1 to 2 minutes. Last, but the most important session of every Toastmasters meeting is the evaluation segment, which will be conducted by a general evaluator. So today's general evaluator is a person I've known for a really long time. Ever since my dad joined Toastmasters, I've known her. And I've seen her coming to my and she has come to my place along with my dad. And she was a president and my dad was a VP. So that's been a long-standing relationship with her. And I remember so in offline meetings or when we're out of the meetings, I actually call her auntie. So that's how the relationship is. So now to introduce her in the Toastmasters sense, she is the current district logistic manager and the past district chief judge, and then she is currently a DTM and she's on her way to get a second DTM as well. So now with a favorite emoji is the one with 3 hearts on top, right? So basically that emoji feels that she likes what something is saying and she feels loved. So that is what the emoji actually means, right? So without further delay, I would like to call DTM Rina on screen.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day, for that enthusiastic and generous introduction and introducing me as your auntie. Thank you so much for doing that. Well, with that note, what is the emoji that comes to my mind when we are looking at it, and I've been searching, it is not there. The emoji that I'm searching currently is that of the one wondering. There's one emoji which looks like that, right? Have you ever wondered why is it that we have 3 segments? And if you are wondering if there are 3 segments by Toastmasters International, they put in a process. How is it that in any club, in any part of the world you go, in any Toastmasters club if you go, how is it that it is ensured the same structure is getting replicated there? We do not have any change. The 3 segments are there. The 3 segments will definitely be there in any numbered regular Toastmasters meeting. Have you ever wondered about that? Who takes care of it? How is it that somebody sitting in the headquarters in USA is able to make sure that hundreds of clubs across the globe follows the same process? Now that is where the general evaluator and the set of leaders in the general evaluators team make sure that the process is followed and the quality is being delivered in every meeting. So that is the role of the general evaluator and the set of evaluators. So we are supposed to represent the quality team of Toastmasters International, ensuring that the processes are followed. So that is what would be the general evaluators team's introduction. My role as a general evaluator is to generally evaluate, right from the sergeant at arms role when it begins, right from that point till the end of the meeting. I'm supposed to evaluate and give you a report. To do this, we also have 2 sets of teams. The first team is called as a tag team, which is the timer, accounter, and the grammarian team. And then we have a set of evaluators. So today we have 4 speeches. We'll have 4 evaluators giving them constructive feedback. So they will be introduced when the evaluation segment begins. Now it's time to introduce the tag team role players. To begin with, we are going to have the timer who will come and introduce about his role. Today's timer is Toastmaster Nishant, who is our Sergeant at Arms, current Sergeant at Arms. You saw him, the youth who had opened this meeting, introduced our president, Nithya. He is a first-year ECE student. He loves to have fun and plays games. With that note, let us put our hands together to welcome Toastmaster Nishant to give the introduction about timers role.
Thank you, General Evaluator, for that brief and beautiful introduction. And very good evening to all Toastmaster and guests. Today I'm going to play the role of timer. So as a timer, it is my duty to note the time taken by you. So we have like 3 sessions: prepared and evaluation and table topics. So for prepared speeches, it is about 5 to 7 minutes, except for icebreaker, which is 4 to 6 minutes. So for prepared speakers, I'll be showing the green card at 5th minute and yellow card at 6th minute and red card at 7th minute. So for icebreaker, I'll be showing the green card for 4th minute and yellow card for 5th minute and red card for 6th minute. And for evaluation, it is about 2 to 3 minutes. At 2nd minute, I'll be showing the green card, and 2 minutes 30 seconds, I'll be showing the yellow card, and the 3rd minute, I'll be showing the red card. And for table topics, it is about 1 to 2 minutes. At 1st minute, I'll be showing the green card, and 1 minute 30 seconds, I'll be showing the yellow card, and 2nd minute, I'll be showing the red card. Thank you, and over to General Evaluator.
Thank you so much for that elaborate briefing that you have given, Toastmaster Nishant. Maybe give him a big round of applause for that. Now it's time to introduce someone who ensures that our language or the delivery of our language is beautiful. It is flawless. So who is going to do that? It's going to be our accounter. And what's the accounter? Our accounter herself will come and introduce what is that role. She is beautiful and she is a homemaker. She has completed BSc in Zoology, honors MBA in HR, and currently pursuing MBA in International Business. Put your hands together to welcome our accountant, Shweta Singh.
Thank you, General Evaluator DTM Reena ma'am, for the warm introduction. The way speed breaker spoils the speed of vehicle, same way when we use unnecessary words, long pauses and repetitive words in our speech, it makes our speech ineffective. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and esteemed guests. As part of my counter role today, I will be noting down the repetitive words, long pauses, and filler words while you are speaking on the stage. I will submit my report when called upon during the meeting. Thank you. Over to you, General Evaluator Reena ma'am.
Thank you so much. It's a very cute explanation that she has given. Let's give her a warm round of applause. Now it's time to introduce the grammarian. If the accountant is going to beautify the speech, the foundation of any language, the goodness of a language comes out when its grammar is flawless. Now that is where a grammarian is going to come in, and he is going to explain about his role.
Okay.
Let me introduce today's grammarian. He says, I see myself as a professional who helps in digital transformation of businesses, like the person who fits all the pieces of puzzles to make a vivid picture. He loves to talk and make friends. Let's welcome Toastmaster Bala as today's grammarian.
Yeah, thanks for the lovely introduction. And I second that, like when you told that the tag team is going to be something like a heart of the speech. And we are here to provide constructive feedback and to make sure we are able to contribute to the success of the speakers and to make them more confident the next time around when they get the stage. And on the word of the day today, I've been thinking about what could be resonating well with the theme of the day. And I kept pondering, and then it struck me, and why not we go with this word expressive. And as humans, we are blessed to have this a feature of being expressive in nature, and somewhere else, or whatever things is happening around us, it is happening to convey a meaning. People are being expressive to convey whatever their feelings and thoughts would be, and that is probably why we also have come up with this sort of word, which is going to be sticking well with the theme of the day today. And the meaning of the word expressive means to convey information in an effective manner, and it could even be to convey one's thoughts and feelings. Over to you, Toastmaster Reena.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Bala, for the grammarian's introduction. Now, whenever the theme of the day and the word of the day is being used, and we encourage everybody to use it. So I'm going to use it. The theme of the day is emojis and human emotions, and expressive is the word of the day. Whenever this happens, we need to applaud, to encourage the speakers and role players to use it. So with that note, we'll have the next set of people, the evaluators, who are today. The evaluators are Toastmaster Anuradha, Toastmaster Valarmati, Toastmaster Bindu, and Toastmaster Jyoti Thomas, who would be presenting their speech evaluation in the third segment. So till then, I will wait and I'll return during the evaluation segment. Back to you, Toastmaster of the day, Anandita.
Thank you. Thank you, General Evaluator, Toastmaster DTM Reena, for your introduction of the team and for introducing your role as well. Right. So now, before moving on to the prepared speech, I'm going to talk about the second set of emojis that came into the picture. So in 2003, after 1997, after seeing the pixelated emojis, in 2007, there was a search engine called MSN. So they released these very funny looking emojis that I don't think would work today. So they had really weird stuff like red emojis and butterflies and etc., which didn't really look good. But eventually, that is how from what didn't look good, then only you have the present day emojis. So that's there. And one more interesting fact that I read regarding emojis is that the laughing emoji with the tears falling is one of the most used emoji of 2019. And I really don't know whether many people really felt that emoji, or they are just using it to make the other person happy. So yeah. So now moving to the prepared speech session, the first speaker will be a person who was a member of Wordsmiths quite a time back, and then he has restarted his Toastmasters journey. And you could listen to this in his icebreaker speech as well. So before calling the prepared speaker, I request his evaluator, Toastmaster Valarmati, to read out his speech objectives.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the day, TM Anandita. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests, and my special good evening to my target speaker, TM Suresh. Today, I'm going to evaluate the TM Suresh speech. The purpose of the project is for the member to introduce himself to the club and learn the basic structure of the public speech. So timer, please note the time of the speech is 5 to 7 minutes. I wish you all the best to my target speaker, TM Suresh. Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Valarmati. Toastmaster Suresh Singh, my continuous learning journey. My continuous learning journey, Toastmaster Suresh.
I hail from a small remote village, undeveloped village named Gauradi in Bihar. It took almost 70 years to reach the electricity. And until then, villagers used the kerosene lamp to study. Some of the family, they moved to city, and usually they used to come to village during their summer vacation. Their lifestyle enticed me. I used to go to the farm and look at the sky and thought, one day, definitely one angel will come and take me to city where I will get opportunity to study in the good school and live a nice urban life. Good evening, fellow Toastmaster. Do you think that angel came down? After some time, one day, my mother asked me to have food early and sleep early because next day we are going to city to live with my father. My father completed his BTech and he got a job in nearby city named Patratu. It was the month of August. My father struggled to get me admission in my first standard. Somehow he managed to get it done. It was just 3 months in my hand to cover up all the entire syllabus. But fortunately, there were only 2 subjects, mathematics and Hindi language. I got 100% marks in mathematics, but failed in Hindi language. My father convinced principal and he talked about my rural background where only I knew one language, that is Bhojpuri. After 10th class, I completed my higher secondary from the beautiful valley of the Jharkhand that we call Patratu, and then I moved to Hazaribagh to continue my graduation in the physics honors from the St. Columbus College. After completion of my graduation, what is next? But I am very crystal clear about I'm not going to apply for any government job because I wanted a lavish life and want to explore the world. Whenever I share my this thought to my parents, they always laughed me and said, "Don't dreaming." After some time, I moved to Delhi with my friend to explore the better career option. There, I came to know that I will have lucrative career option if I will complete my MCA. Then I started preparation for its entrance but there was one problem. I have to study mathematics, which I did not study after 12th standard, because during my graduation only I studied only and only physics. And I was not, and this is why I was not able to make admission in any regular college, but somehow I managed to get admission in part-time MCA from the IGNOU. After completion of INSU, I was good in technology. I learned a lot of languages, computer languages like COBOL, C, C++, Java, Visual Basic, etc. Now I came to another challenge of came across another challenge of English language, and first time I realized the importance of English communication in my life. And somehow I managed to get a job in the corporate. There I got some money to spend on my communication skill, and I joined InLingua. After some time, I was able to understand the neutral Indian accent, and somehow able to manage to answer in English. And after some time, I upgraded my skill and I got opportunity in Saudi Arabia. And there I got opportunity to learn a new complicated technology that we call the storage technology. And through that experience, I bagged a new opportunity in Dubai. And from there, they posted me in Kabul to set a new data center. However, my communication skill was pathetic, but I was excellent in technology. And one MNC hired me for their project, and then they posted me to England for their training of their processes, and then they posted me back to India in Chennai. From last 12 years, I am the Chennai with settled in Chennai with family. In current organization, I came to know there is a lot of opportunity for me to improve my communication skill. And then in 2017, I decided to join Toastmaster, where I got a lot of people around me to support, and also inspiring mentor, DTM Reena, who has trust that I can also become a good speaker. And with this inspiration, I put myself in a continuous learning journey, and then decided to like a continuous journey. And with this note, thank you.
Thank you, Toastmasters Suresh Singh. That was a very great speech. Now, moving on to the second speaker, we have another member who was also part of Wordsmiths, and then she took a small break, and now she's back again, delivering an icebreaker speech once again. So before calling her on screen, I request the evaluator to read out her speech objectives.
Am I both audible and visible?
Yes.
Thank you. So my target speaker, Ananya, is attempting her level 1, project 1 icebreaker speech. The pathway is strategic relationships. Topic, live the experience. Time, 4 to 6 minutes. All the best, Ananya. I'm sure you're going to do amazingly well. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Anuradha. Live the experience. Yeah, Toastmaster Ananya.
Live the experience. Yeah, that's right. On 13th November 1994, in my grandparents' home, all their family and friends was assembled. They were assembled there. And there was 2 set of groups. They discussed about 2 important topics. It is not about whether it's a girl child or a boy child, whether it's going to be a boy, but it was whether November 13th, whether 13th number is lucky or not, and is what unique name can we give, because number 13 is unique, so we have to name the child with a unique name. Good evening, my fellow Toastmasters and friends. My name is Ananya Ravindran. Meaning of my name is unique. Ananya means unique. So do I. I'm very different in so many ways. And main reason is my parents and my family. When I was 5 years old, I was extremely naughty, very notorious, and I would be always running here and there and roaming in my colonies, always cycling and running, and also hitting some of young people. So in order to channelize my energy in a very constructive way, they enrolled me in kindergarten. Along with that, they also enrolled me in taekwondo class as well as dance class. Yeah, classical dance. And when I was in the class, I was never studious that whether it's taekwondo class or dance class. And it's very difficult for teachers to make a 5-year-old and 6-year-old focus in class. So in order to make me more involved, my mom used to tell, after completing the class, I will buy you jelly or cake or puffs or samosa. So that's the reason why I entered dance class and taekwondo class. And over a period of time, after 5 to 6 years, when I was in middle school, like 8th standard, I started falling in love with both taekwondo and dance, and my life changed and my life experience changed. While dancing on stage, while being on stage, I feel as if something very spiritual is being expressed and being very expressive. And I feel I'm aligned with this nature and higher souls and higher power. So that's the very spiritual experience I used to have with dancing. When it comes to taekwondo, which is a very aggressive sport, and taekwondo is nothing but Korean karate, where we used to wear all supporting gears and we fight inside the ring. So it was a roller coaster for me. Dance is something different and taekwondo is something different, totally different. So I enjoyed this different experiences over a period of time, and I started performing better in both taekwondo and dance. So what happened to my studies? Obvious. No, I'm doing so many things, so it depends. Sometimes I score really good, sometimes I score really less. So this was my school life. And while mentioning my school life and about my parents, I should never forget to talk about my sister. She is an amazing academician, and we both studied in SBOA School and Junior College from kindergarten till +2. So most of the teachers, they know about my sister. I always hide my identity that she is my sister so that they won't expect from me. But later, during every parent teachers open meet, my mom used to mention that she is my sister, and I always get special attention after that. So this was my school experience. After this, going into engineering college, it was another roller coaster because I was not ready to sacrifice both dance and taekwondo even while doing engineering. And I was able to hold everything together only because of my parents' support. And I holded it. And also because of my fellow teachers and friends who helped me even to write record notebooks. And that's why I was able to continue it and hold those memories even today. And I entered national taekwondo team, and I have been winning few medals for state, like in college in 2013, 2008. From 2008 to 2013, I was continuously winning state championship. And in the year 2013 and 14, I was there in national team. Everything was fine. My life was a roller coaster. I was always running up here and there, but I thoroughly enjoyed that experience, whatever the result might be, but I loved my life. What happened is in 2014, I was injured and I was no longer able to continue dance and taekwondo. My ambition before that was to choose that as my profession, to have a dance school, to have a taekwondo school, and have studios and have trained people. And this was my ambition. But now, since I was not able to do it, I don't want to do it anymore. I had that little bit of resistance towards it. So I decided I want to get away from this place because I've been living in Chennai throughout my life. So I want to get away. I thought, why don't I do MBA? Because I'm always interested in business, because I've seen my dad doing business from very young age. He's an entrepreneur, first generation entrepreneur. I saw his struggles from very initial stage. Over a period of time, after entering into B school, I never thought I will again fall in love with something new. But fortunately, every day I go to my B school gallery and sit in a case study analysis and start analyzing the cases. I again started falling in love with those case studies. And while putting myself in manager's position, in a CEO's position, analyzing a case, I thought like I'm able to bring out my creativity and then my logical reasoning in a very, very different way because of my diverse background. And it helped me to experience. And again, I enjoy that experience. And what is life without friends? I had a lot of friends in all the domains I mentioned. Even Toastmaster Shruti is my taekwondo friend. We used to travel a lot here and there while few years back during our college days. And I have so many memories like that. In college, I had four friends, everyone from different places. Like one from US, one from China, one from Korea, and one from India. And even in friends from India, they are from different backgrounds and different lengths and breadths of our country. So this is the most precious experience I hold in my life. After passing out from college, I entered into corporate world. And now I'm living in the corporate world, which is a real world, which is totally different. And I'm living through it and I'm going through it. This is my journey. And I'm here in Toastmasters along with you people. Thank you for this. And I'm ready to live this journey along. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day. Are you ready to live your journey?
Thank you, Toastmaster Ananya. That was a really great speech and I really enjoyed it. Now, moving on to the third speaker, which is Toastmaster Shankar. So my brief memory is with this person is when he won the Best Speaker Award in a joint meeting with Chennai Toastmasters Club and our club. And that was his icebreaker speech. And I clearly remember that it was, I remember his speech and I really loved listening to him. So before calling him on screen, I would request the evaluator, Toastmaster Bindu, to read his speech objectives.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. My target speaker, Toastmaster Shankar, is doing his level 2, project 1, understanding your communication style. The purpose of the project is for the member to learn about the different communication style and to identify his style, primary style. And the purpose of this speech is for the member to share the impact of his style on the others. All the best, Toastmaster Shankar. Over to TMO.
Thank you, Toastmaster Bindu. The realization of leadership, Toastmaster Shankar.
Thank you very much for the introduction, Toastmaster Anandita. My dear Toastmasters and guests, today I'm going to talk about style of communication. Communication style is like a vehicle on the road that takes you to your destination. You'll have to pick the right vehicle for the right destination. You don't need a sophisticated aircraft. The place that you have to reach is the shop at the corner of the street. A bicycle would do it. Similarly, use the right communication style with the right people at the right time to get the right results. I have discovered my communication style and I'm going to tell you how I did that. Let me start. How much do we talk in a day? Have you asked yourself? Research says that we speak around 15,000 to 18,000 words per day. So which is a stretch will comes around 3 to 4 hours. Words have power. It's in our hands how we use it to express our thoughts. It depends on the communication style. It is similarly like using an emoji to express your thoughts in a chat. Everyone in this world has a unique style of communication. But what is a particular thing in someone's talking which sounds of a baritone to you, and for someone you want to give a slap? You may talk to more than 100 people a day, but very few scratch your mind and you want to listen more and more from that person. It's all about style of communication. Research also says most people fall in love because of communication style, not because of facial beauty. Now tell me, what is the first thing you demand when you talk to someone? The first thing you demand is attention. We need attention. We demand it by various tones and expression. You talk to your colleague in a complete separate tone, which differs from using it to a near and dear ones. Again, use a different tone when you talk to a kid. Use the same word but different tones wrapped with various emotions. It's just like a pizza. A plain pizza bread tastes very common. The types and amount of topping you add to that makes it delicious. Likewise, we talk every day, no matter in what language, not necessarily English, but the type and number of emotions we add to our words are the actual game changer here. Style of communication is easy to understand by listening others, but it's tough to adapt. If you want to be a distinctive and want to make a mark in people's mind, then you need 3 things: practice, practice, and practice. Word is the most powerful weapon in the world. You can receive depressed person by you can revive the depressed person by inspiring talk. On the other hand, we can verbally abuse someone to death. Now, after all these things, the question can come to your mind. What is your communication style? How to understand it? Understanding your own communication style is not easy until someone evaluates you or you listen to yourself. When we speak, we can't hear our voice properly. When we listen to our own recording, it's like pathetic voice you ever hear. Trust me, when we don't like our own voice, when you want to listen to your own recordings, you literally hate it. But listen to your own voice to improve your communication style. Know your audience and their expectations. Whenever you are talking to your boss or a small sales meeting, an audience of 1,000 people, or your kids, or in a Toastmaster meeting, matching your communication style to the folks is an essential step of effective communication. There's no fixed rule for communication style. Depends on the type and amount of emotions you add to your words. Of course, effective communication is a critical skill for a leader. I found out that my dominant skill of communication is supportive. The characteristics of my communication are like calm, steady, gentle, and approachable. I'm very happy with my style of communication because being a supportive communicator is what I aspire to be. I feel that this style lays a foundation for any effective communication, and other communication styles can build on it. For example, you want to approach regardless of your preference in particular communication style. I always use the word please when I used to communicate to people, to my colleague, to even my family. I feel a huge impact created in all of them about me. I have a friend who graduated from IIM, one of the reputed colleges in India for management studies. He came forward after 3 months of working together in a project and said that he got the habit of starting the conversation of his subordinates with the word please. And surprisingly, it had worked out well. Yes, this word please can make wonders. The speed of an employee completes a task differs drastically if the manager uses word please. I had literally felt it, and I'm very firm in one thing. In this competitive world, we cannot be at the top of the race without effective communication. I know that being a chameleon in a colloquial English can carry a negative connotation, but I'm using this expression in a positive sense to say that you should be agile and flexible when it comes to using a different communication styles. What do you think? Do you agree with me? Are you ready to be a communication style chameleon? I don't know about you, but that's what I'm striving to be every day. Thank you for listening to my speech, and over to you, Toastmaster. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Toastmaster Shankar. Last but not the least, we have the final speaker for the evening. So as she introduced me, she is the president of the club, and trust she has been really a head of support last term me, and I really enjoyed working with her. She's a homemaker and she loves traveling. And recently, she had posted pictures of her travel when she went to Kashmir. So that was very. I think from whatever I've spoken to, I know that she enjoys traveling. So yeah. So before calling her on screen, I request the evaluator, Toastmaster Jyoti Thomas, to read out her speech objectives. You're on mute.
A wonderful evening. Today, the speaker will come out with her human expressions, her emotions to present, her pathways, presentation mastery, level 3, project 1, persuasive speaking. Title, an investment within yourself. The purpose of this project is for Toastmaster Nithya to understand the types of persuasive speeches and deliver a persuasive speech in our club. Timer, kindly note, it's between 5 to 7 minutes. Toastmaster Nithya, over to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster. An investment within yourself, Toastmaster Nithya. Screen's yours.
Thank you, TMOD, Toastmaster Anandita. Good evening, dear Toastmasters and dear guests. I'm going to ask you one single pointed question. How many of you practice meditation daily as a routine activity? Show me a show of hands. Thank you for your answers. Dear Toastmasters, today I'm going to speak to you about something which is very important for our lives. Just as you imagine that you're trying to seek your monetary wealth. What do? You nurture your investments, isn't it? You use different tools and techniques like market analysis, hiring a consultant. You do market research, study the stock market, isn't it? In the same way, meditation is nothing but a simple life tool with which you can improve a very important resource, and that is yourself. Many years back, when I was living in the Middle East, I had a friend, Beena, who was working in the telecom sector. She had a very hectic schedule. She used to get up at 5 a.m. in the morning, prepare the food. She used to drive to work. And in the evening, she had to pick up and drop her children from different tuition classes and activities. Beena used to tell me that she never gets time to relax and refresh herself. She always seemed to be in a hurry. One day, when she was driving to office, she was so preoccupied with her thoughts about the activities of the day that she overshot the speed limit. She lost control of the car and her car swerved on to the opposite side of the road. She was lucky that there was no vehicle coming from the opposite side. Beena somehow pulled her car to the side road and she cried her heart out for the next half an hour. When she narrated this incident to me, I told her, Beena, why don't you try daily meditation for 10 minutes? A simple practice. Just sit in a quiet corner of your room. Close your eyes, take deep breaths, and for those few moments, just imagine that you don't want anything, you're doing nothing, and you are nothing. Try this technique. After 2 weeks, Beena came to me and said that the daily practice of meditation was benefiting her immensely. She was more energetic. She was able to conduct her work schedules more efficiently. She did not let the stress get to her that much, and she felt more cheerful and happier nowadays. Dear Toastmasters, all of us have hectic work schedules. We have home commitments, studies, and we struggle to make a work-life balance. So, in this process, a lot of hormones get secreted in our body. Our body produces these hormones as a response to the stress. So, what are these hormones? Adrenaline and cortisol. And what happens when these hormones increase? I'm going to share with you in the form of a presentation. So here you are. When the cortisol hormone increases, what happens? The immune system gets weakened. Heart disease. You get chances of high blood pressure, high blood sugar, digestive issues, nerve problems, anxiety, depression, headache, fatigue, insomnia, concentration lack, and so other things. All this can have a negative effect on our physical, mental, and emotional health. So what can be the best solution for this? Sitting at home. This is meditation. And is meditation proven and tested? Yes, I have scientific studies to back this claim. The science behind meditation and alpha brain waves. A collaborative study carried out by the Sydney University and the Norwegian University of Science and Technology showed the changes of the electric brain activity during meditation. And that is, your scientific theory is going to be shown here. Abundant theta waves in the frontal part of the brain indicates deep relaxation. Increase in alpha waves in the posterior parts of the brain indicates awareness along with rest.
Green.
This simply means that when you're meditating, you are in a deep state of rest along with awareness. Fewer beta waves during meditation explains how meditation stops the chattering mind. There are also studies which show that 20 minutes of meditation a day gives you equivalent of 5 hours of deep rest. So it is very important that all of us recognize this important need to meditate and we start meditating daily. The other benefits of meditation, well, it lowers your blood pressure, it lowers the blood lactate levels, which prevents anxiety attacks, it improves your immune system, reduces ulcers, joint pains and aches. It completely changes the physiology of the body and infuses all your cells with more prana and energy. So dear Toastmasters, it also improves serotonin levels, which makes great changes in your mood and behavior. And mentally, it improves focus, clarity of mind, concentration, creativity. It gives us more expressional ability and emotional stability. All this will increase our happiness levels. So dear Toastmasters, all of us are seeking happiness, isn't it? Happiness is an everyday thing. So I urge you to start meditating daily. Make it a daily practice and you will see that how you benefit and blossom with this investment within yourself. Over to the Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Nithya. With this, we have come to the end of the prepared speech session. So now, before moving on to the next session, which is the table topics, I would like to share one interesting fact about emojis. So, apart from English or any other language in the world, the emoji language is one of the world's fastest growing language. I don't know if you've ever seen this trend recently, but you can see a lot of emojis that are placed together and which actually gives gives a meaning. So sometimes people just organize a few emojis together and give a puzzle and ask you to find the meaning of them. So that is how popular and how efficient the emoji language is. So since all these emojis represent human emojis, there's something really common that we can see all around us. People are able to relate to it much better, whether it's an old person, whether they're 80 years, 90 years old, or whether it is a kid who's 5 years old. Anyone or everyone can relate to emojis. And that is why it is one of the world's fastest growing language. Like now, let us move to the table topic segment. And I'm pretty sure our table topics master, Toastmaster Anisha, has a lot of fun segments in her head. Like I said, her favorite emoji is the laughing emoji. As usual, that is a favorite emoji of most of the youngsters present over here, because hey, you can use that to mean something else as well. So without further delay, I would like to give it to Toastmaster Anisha as the table topics master.
Thank you, Tia Modi, for that wonderful introduction. And to be honest, the prepared speech marathon was such a long run, right? So let us all rest upon and do something fun. I am the table topic master today, and as a daily master, I am supposed to give a bunch of questions, the topics to all of you, and ask you to talk about that topic for a couple of minutes, 1 to 2 minutes precisely. But today, since the theme of the day is pretty fun, emojis and emoticons, I thought, what if, maybe we can add more fun to it. So what I'm going to do is, instead of asking questions, I'm going to display an emoji in front of you all. And you have to recall or narrate an incident that comes to your mind when you look at that emoji. So let me share my screen. Okay, so the first person that I'm going to call for TT today is TM Aravind. Can you unmute and TM Aravind, are you present in the meeting?
I think it's working on polls. Can you call somebody else?
Okay. So since none of the non-role players are present here, I'm going to call one of the role players. I'm going to call our counter, Shweta ma'am, for the first TT question.
Thank you, TM Anisa.
Yes. The emoji for you is the laughing emoji. What comes to your mind, an incident that you can narrate when about this laughing emoji?
Yeah, laughing. This is the, I think, best emoji in the world. Laughing. When we laugh, we just forget everything and just feel that everything is good and feel positive, whether it is naturally or artificially. So in yoga, I also done that yoga teachers training, and daily in my class there was one laughing exercise. They do different types of laughing exercise, and sometimes I was thinking, how can I laugh without any joke or comedy? But the yoga teachers are trained, and they are just clapping the hands and speaking something, and just laugh means laugh and laugh and laugh. And anyone can laugh. When we start artificially to laugh, then automatically laughing comes to our face, and we just forget everything and laugh. So laughing is the best exercise in the world. So we all should daily laugh. If you don't want to laugh, then also you laugh. Just laugh and laugh and laugh and change your life and change your mind. Thank you.
Thank you, Shweta ma'am. You made us all laugh a lot. For the next TT question, I think Aravind is available now. So I'm going to call Aravind again.
Am I audible?
Yeah, you are, but feeble it is.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so the emoji for you is the awkward smile. Have you ever put yourself in an awkward situation and you have done this?
The awkward smile. Okay. One second. Am I audible properly now?
Yeah.
Okay. The awkward smile. For this emoji can be used in the situations where you are just caught up in something, or maybe in Toastmasters itself, if there is some unavoidable delay or a last minute back out or anything like that, then this emoji can be used. And in other situations where you have just completely forgot some task which is assigned to you, like, did you do this? Oh my God, I didn't do that. And that emoji can be, and I use that emoji. So I haven't put myself in many awkward situations before that, but I have used this emoji in these situations where we cause some trouble to the person who we address. So in that situation, we use this emoji. Thank you, and over to the table topics master.
Thank you, Aravind. Next, I'm about to call our guest today, guest Chaitanya, for a table topic. Is guest Chaitanya? Okay, so the emoji for you is the master one. I guess this is the most relevant emoji for nowadays. And do you recall something, or how do you relate to this emoji? Is
master. Yeah, this is a situation where most of the time I find myself into this. Usually when I have the conversation with my friends, right, there would be a lot of happening, fun be going on. But instead, when I'm trying to make a comment, right, people ask me to shut myself. Keep yourself shut. Don't continue on that, because he already reads my mind, and he knows what I'm about to speak, which is going to offend him. So this has been one of the situations that I often put myself. But thankfully now I'm in a virtual world, and I don't get put myself into such kind of situations. Right now I'm saved from this trouble. Yeah, that's it.
Thank you, guest Chaitanya. For the next, it was pretty fun. And for the next table topic, let me call our grammarian today, Bala, for the next table topic. Is he available? Grammarian Bala. Yeah. You're on mute, I guess.
I'm sorry. Yeah, we can
Okay,
continue. Yeah.
Yeah. So the emoji for you is, oh my God, I just spit a bitter card emoji. Something bitter. An experience where you actually was like this.
Okay. So yeah, thanks, Toastmaster Anisha. So when I look at these emojis, what it reminds me is this the reminiscence of good old days when we used to have this Nokia phones in hand, right? And those were probably the early sort of the revolution of mobile phones back then. So I was probably around 15, 16 years, and then we had this revolution of Nokia phones. It entered into the market, and it had a beautiful image too. So when you switch on the phones, it displayed its logo, and then as well as it had its tagline. And that is probably the starting point of how the emojis evolved into so much as we would have it in the smartphones today. And this reminds me of nothing but the bitter gourd juice which my mom used to give. That is, whenever I'm sick, when I'm down with a fever, or when I'm going through some sort of sickness. So this reminds me of that. And as well as I also have seen these emojis so frequent in messages when probably what you convey to a friend or maybe a colleague isn't received that much well. And that is about it. And yeah, so I try to be avoiding as much as this bitter gourd juice and as well as this bitter emojis in my messages or in my chats with people. Over to you, Anisha. Thank you.
Thank you, Grammarian Bala. And for the next table topic, I want to call TM Anuradha Pradeep for the next table topic.
Yes, tell me.
Yes. The emoji for you is the one with the coolest. Like, have you ever been the coolest person in the room or something like that? What do you relate when you see this emoji? Is your table topic.
Okay, so very, very interesting topic and very nice topic. So I'd like to, give situations wherein I was very cool and also in situations where I wasn't really very cool. So starting with a situation wherein most of the times I'm not really very cool and I'm not proud of it. I should have this thing. My mind goes back to my engineering practicals. Trust me, every single time any practical examination, I'll get tensed up. This should happen, that should happen, the output should come, I must get output verified, I must get this, I must get that, etc. So those were situations wherein I could not display this emoji called the cool emoji, where this thing. And other situations wherein I could not display the cool emoji was engineering record signing. My God, trust me, that was those were horrible experiences. Faculty will find intrinsic mistakes in our in my records and everything. But I'd now like to go into situations where I have been cool, and everybody calls me cool during math exams because I love the subject so much. So I'll be writing my paper very coolly and calmly, where everybody around me will be getting tensed up. I'm not getting this sum. I'm not getting this sum. Anuradha, show me your answer. I want to copy from you. So that is the story of my being cool and not being cool in some situations. Thank you.
Thank you, Anuradha ma'am. That was such a cool TT speech. And then for the next table topic, I would like to call our President Nitya ma'am. And the emoji for you is the brainstorming emoji. Have you ever been brainstorm with ideas or thoughts or something like that?
Thank you, Table Topics Master. Yes, brainstorming is very important. I'm a housewife. So every day I take my brains and I storm them with my hands literally, because I need to know what I have to cook for my family. I have a very unique family in the sense that everybody likes different things to eat. Somebody likes their food with onion. Somebody likes their food without onion. Somebody wants tomatoes in their vegetables. Somebody doesn't want tomatoes in their vegetables. Somebody doesn't want tempering with mustard seeds. And somebody wants tempering without mustard seeds. So I try to brainstorm what will be the dish which will be compatible and consumable by the whole of the family. So in this way, every day from the past so many years, from the time I have been a housewife, I am doing kitchen brainstorming every day. And it is a very interesting activity because I have learned to innovate and prepare very different types of dishes. And I also learned how to minimize my cooking time. Sometimes in the process, I make one dish and I divide it into 3 parts, and I will do the required activities for that. So brainstorming is fun. Thank you very much. Over to the table topics master.
Thank you, Nitya ma'am. And for the next table topic, I would like to call speaker Ananya, I mean team Ananya, coming there. The next table topic. Okay. So for the topic view is this emoji, the celebrating one. Have you ever like been this happy and in a celebrating mood like lately or something? Why do you relate when you see this emoji?
When I see this emoji, I immediately travel back to my college days in VIT. VIT being a very open-minded and then very inclusive culture. I remember my professors and presidents in my college and top management in my college. Once the semester is over, once the exam is over, they will call us and tell, go out and enjoy. We are conducting a DJ party. We are conducting a flash mob. By doing that, they make sure that we enjoy after our exams. At the same time, we are within our limits. So the entire college will be there and we can see the corridors and roads where parties will be conducted in a supervised way, but in a very flexible way where students will enjoy, teachers will enjoy. I also see where securities, wardens, everyone will be involved in this enjoyment. So where I feel people are connected, but still they lived in a very independent way. So looking at this emoji, it reminds me of my college day. It was fun in all the ways. Thank you.
Thank you, TM Ananya. And just like you call it, Jace, your TT speech was also only fun. For the next table topic, I would like to call another guest present here, Soumya. Yes. And for the and your table topic is hope, the last resort. That emoticon. Like, have you ever been like, oh my God, the last resort now is hope?
Yes, this is a very good topic. Like I like to share, I am a UPSC aspirant. I have tried for 2 times. Still, I am trying this only because of this hope. I am trying for this because UPSC is a long journey. I have quitted my jobs and came to UPSC, and still I am having hope that I will clear this UPSC. So hope is the only thing which guides me. Even after this 2 years in COVID pandemic, everything was reversed. I don't get classes. I'm doing by myself. The only thing drives me is this hope. So I feel this suits me. Then then I don't think. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, guest Soumya. And next, I would like to call our TMOD, the Toastmaster of today, TM Anandita, for a table topic.
Yep.
Okay, so your topic is, this is like my personal favorite, the sleeping emoji. What do you relate with this emoji and how do you relate with this emoji?
Okay. So good evening once again. And I really think whether or not I don't even use emoji, but my friends use the emoji to describe me, to be honest. Because every single time they call me, either my phone be on silent or I would be sleeping. So literally I had an entrance exam this Sunday, and immediately after I slept off and I didn't wake up till 9 p.m. in the night. And I literally put my phone on silent and I slept off. By then, there was an entire discussion on the group as to why I didn't pick up the call. And in that discussion, I saw so many of these sleeping emojis. And honestly, I was like, I have never used so many sleeping emojis in my life. And in a point, I really agree with them. I'm kind of lazy. I like sleeping. I love my sleep. I never compromise on that or anything. But sometimes people just don't understand that sleep is important, right? So yeah, that's it.
Thank you, Tia Modi. Can I ask a timer? Do we have time for another 2 table topics, or is this enough?
Enough of this.
Okay, cool. Okay, cool then. That's all for table topics today, and I hope you all had fun. I had fun, definitely. I hope you all do. Thank you.
Thank you, Anisha, for conducting an extremely creative table topic session based on the emojis. So really good. Now let's move on to the evaluation segment, and thankfully I won't be there to conduct this for you. The general evaluator will be back on screen to conduct the session. So over to DTM Reena.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day. So I'm back here to conduct the evaluation segment. So let's start off with the evaluation of the prepared speeches. The first speaker, Toastmaster Suresh Singh's speech will be evaluated by Toastmaster Valarmati. She's a professor and she loves to listen to music and travel. So with that note, let's welcome our first evaluator, Toastmaster Valarmati.
Yeah, good evening. So thank you, Toastmaster of the day, TM Reena ma'am. So good evening, fellow Toastmaster. Sorry, ma'am. Thank you so much for General Evaluator TM Reena ma'am. So good evening, fellow Toastmaster and guests, and my special good evening to my target speaker TM Suresh. So your opening was so good as you open as that is one angel came to change my life from village to urban. That is the you mentioned as angel as your mother. That opening was so good to pull the audience to sit and straight and keen to listen your speech. And your speech was clear throughout and easy to understand throughout the speech. And secondly, the way how to struggle your challenge to come out from that, improve the communication skill. That way, that was very good. And you have used very good vocal variety and well constructive speech. So in that aspect, goes to you. And coming to the recommendation, if you could have more practice, that enhanced your speech, and because at the end of your speech is somewhat not clear. So, and second thing, it needs some eye contact, improve eye contact with the audience. That is the recommendation. So coming to the summary. So overall, your speech was energetic and was well constructive, and your speech was very clear and using very good vocal variety, and your voice modulation is very good throughout the speech. Opening was good, and that is how you are started as angel came to change my life from village to urban area. That was very good to pull the audience to sit and straight and keen to listen your speech. And how to come out the challenge to improve your communication, that aspect is okay. But recommendation, if you would use more practice to in your speech, that enhance your speech throughout the light. So the second thing, you have use some eye contact. You have to use some improve to eye contact with the audience. Overall, your speech was very good. It's very nice. That's for that aspect, and I wish you all the best for the future speech. Thank you. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Valarmati, that for that constructive feedback that you have given to Toastmaster Suresh. I'm sure he's going to take the recommendations. With that note, now let's move to the next speaker's speech, Toastmaster Ananya's speech, which will be evaluated by our evaluator Toastmaster Anuradha. She has completed her MBA and she's currently working as a risk analyst in Cholamandalam. Hobbies are dancing and reading. Now let's welcome Toastmaster Anuradha.
Am I both audible and visible?
Yes.
Thank you. Toastmaster Ananya. First of all, congratulations. You have crossed this level. You have met the objectives of your speech and you have crossed it. So let me start with what I really liked about your speech. The best part of it, the opening. You started not directly. You started with a story. like all your relatives in your house waiting there, the number 13, what name should you give, and etc. And then also you said your name, the meaning of your name. So that start really captured the eyes of the audience. Please continue to do this in the rest of your speeches, because it is very important to capture the audience in the beginning, because only then will they be with us through the speech. You told me you were nervous, but there was not a hint of nervousness throughout your speech. You were smiling. You were confident. Your body language, you kept using your hands like this, like that, etc., etc. Apart from the smile, the confidence, etc., your content was very good and very detailed. Give us minute details about yourself, like your hobbies in sports, in dance. Apart from that, how being naughty, how being, not be, you wanting to tell that you were your sister's sister, etc. Your engineering days, your MBA days, etc. One thing that really stood apart is, Ananya, your frankness. It takes immense guts to come out in front of an audience and say, guess what? I don't want to tell in my school that I was my sister, so that I don't want that comparison. The frankness and the boldness behind that statement is something that I really liked. Your speech had various segments: your school days, your engineering days, and your college days. Sorry, your MBA days. The transition was smooth and you were not hesitant. You could capture the whole picture. Coming to some few recommendations. Ananya, next time, please stand up and speak so that you are more clear and your confidence level will also improve, and so will your body language. Also, you can try to use some amount of expressions in your speech. Like when you said, no, you had met with an accident. You could have just said, oh my God, I met with an accident and all that. But you were still smiling, even when you said, I met with an accident. These two are only two teeny tiny recommendations I'd like to give you. Overall, good speech, good flow, good content, good body language, few recommendations, and you're right there. Thank you.
Fabulous evaluation by Toastmaster Anuradha. Let's give her a big round of applause. Now let's move to the next speaker, Toastmaster Shankar's speech, which will be evaluated by a doctor by profession, an author, and a very passionate Toastmaster, Toastmaster Bindu. Let's put our hands together to welcome Evaluator Bindu.
Thank you very much, DTM Reena, and good evening to all Toastmasters and my dear guests. A special good evening to my target speaker, Toastmaster Shankar. Congratulations. We have made a mark. After your ice-breaking speech, I think you have made a wonderful journey. A good speaker have a good opening. The opening was very sweet, in a sense that it opened like comparing communication with a vehicle that takes the whole audience to something which they are already seeing. So they could relate the styles with the motor vehicle, the road in which it rides, as well as the time. Wow. And the body of the speech was framed in such a way that you had a smooth transition. Like you gave a personal story about one of your colleagues coming and telling that include please in every way makes his attempt to communicate better. So that gave a personal story and gave an important impetus towards what you were aiming at. Then you were trying to give a example of how to improve your communication skill. That is, to become a better speaker, you got to practice. So you were repeating the same thing, practice, 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 which really very much forceful. And then you were telling that there are a lot of difference between the communication style to different age groups and different people. So that was also very awesome. Now, coming to the suggestions, you could have done it if you could stand, Shankar, Toastmaster Shankar, I want you to stand and empower yourself to speak out what you had spoken. Second thing, you had asked a wonderful question. That is 101% speak to you daily. But what is one thing that makes difference for one particular person for you to remember? You could have made a pause and asked the audience and get an opinion or response from them. Then, last but not the least, you could have put some expression and body language. Facial expression and body language is so expressive, you know. So in a nutshell, wonderful speech with a great opening, smooth transition, good content, and a nice conclusion. If you could bring out the 3 P's, that is posture, pause, and powerfulness by being expressive, it will be a wonderful speech. All the best.
Thank you, Toastmaster Bindu, for that fabulous evaluation. Let's give her a big round of applause. Now for the final speech from Toastmaster Nithya, we have our evaluator, who is our First Lady President, a passionate Toastmaster, someone who is very active in the social service, social world. Her profession and social service has emerged. I don't know. She is such an inspiration, personally a huge inspiration for me. So let's put our hands together to welcome our first president and the last evaluator for today, Jyoti Thomas.
That's my expressive emoticon right there for that awesome, what a wonderful way to welcome. She knows exactly how to boost my ego. Now it's all about Toastmaster Nithya. Can we just give it up to her? Clap, please, for a completion of one of her projects, a key project for Persuasive. Toastmaster Nithya, what did I really enjoy? Your little ISO mark, your pleasant smile, coming in and taking over your audience. The question that you asked, very smartly you brought in the audience attention. Interestingly, you started using of like research, then you spoke about wealth, and you spoke about alpha, beta, all those things. There was so much thrown, like we were all waiting to see what it is. Then you came out with your wonderful word. How many of you have meditated? You were sitting through it, which was very good. And interestingly, you also said you had a PowerPoint presentation. Your presentation slides were well researched and pumped with loads of information. So I really liked your opening. I liked the way you came across and you asked a question and controlled the audience where they looked at you. Nithya, knowing what I know of you, what more would I want? If I was in Nithya's place, what would I look at? Nithya, when we're seated, something which enthralls the audience is, this is a persuasive speech. Now, your voice, your vocal variety, your vocabulary are key to this particular project where we talk about persuasive. Now, were you trying to impress or persuade? I would have enjoyed it if you started off by saying, today, I'm going to talk to you about meditation. You could have brought in the entire lot. And immediately, the story when you said, your opening was interesting because there's something called a recall. You used your own story, a story from your life about your friend. You could have said, when her car flipped over, I gave her just one suggestion. Start meditating. It was not an advice, it was a suggestion. All of us should have that 2 minutes to stop and think, feel, because this was something deep down from your heart. So that being said, would you consider, Nithya, trying to take off the third slide, which had a lot of information, and you had this one particular slide with the meditative mode and all the other information around? I would have enjoyed if you had kept that on the screen, where I would have seen, connected with your awesome voice, and understood the value of meditation, which is medicative. So we will also know that at times we have to stop using that horrible grin and go ahead and tell people the way things are. With that, congratulations. It was a very well informed presentation, and you did call it off, no doubt. But I will not rest till I see more of you. Thank you, and over to the Toastmaster of the day. Keep the good work going, DTM Reena.
Thank you, Toastmaster Jyoti, for that excellent evaluation of the speech of Toastmaster Nitya. Now let's give her a big round of applause. Now it's time for us to move to the tag report, and for that, I'm going to call it in the reverse order because my team is always ready. So the first report will be provided by our grammarian, Toastmaster Bala. Let's put our hands together to welcome our grammarian for today, for his report. You're on mute?
I'm so sorry. I keep forgetting to unmute every now and then. Yeah, thanks a lot, Toastmaster Reena. We had a great session, and the prepared speeches section where we in fact seen how the depth of vocabulary had been used by all the prepared speakers. And to start off with, Toastmaster Suresh started off with narrating an example, and every sentences that he spoke was properly punctuated, and the shift of tenses between past tense, present tense were good. And on the second prepared speech which we had, Toastmaster Ananya, she started off with a live event, and that was well received by the audience. And then again, it was having a crisp and neat sort of properly paused sentences. And then she used the word of the day once, and that was to finish the speech, and that was good to see. And again, a great vocabulary depth that she used in her speech. And coming to the third prepared speech that we have had, again, good. Toastmaster Shankar had made use of some idioms and phrases, and then a good opening of speeches. And on to the last of the prepared speeches that we have had. And Toastmaster Nitya, she had everything in right proportion. So what it would need to make a good recipe. So like what a quantity of element that we would need to have for making our speech stand out the best among the others. And she had everything in it. And then over to the table topics, I could not see much of the usage of the word of the day, and I could not even see once that the word of the day being used. But I encourage people to be using this word of the day to make it to make your speeches more complimenting while you deliver it. And then on the evaluation side, it went really well. Again, we have seen great evaluation, great usage of words, and then proper feedback and depth of vocabulary. To finish it off, Toastmaster Bindu and Toastmaster Jyoti, they in fact scored last 2 ball sixes, and then used a lot of idioms and phrases, and that made the evaluation stick out well, and made it best evaluation. And over to you, Toastmaster Reena.
Thank you so much. Our grammarian probably became a mini general evaluator. He gave an general evaluation report over there. Well done. Now let's move to our, now there is the thought process going on there between my R counter and timer. Who will be called next? I'm going to call the timer next. Our timer, Toastmaster Nishant, for the timer's report, please.
Very good evening, dear Toastmaster guest. So as per my timer report for prepared speakers, Toastmaster Suresh took 6 minutes 20 seconds. Toastmaster Ananya took 6 minutes 35 seconds. Toastmaster Shankar took 5 minutes 30 seconds. Toastmaster Nitya Kannan took 6 minutes 48 seconds. And for evaluators, Toastmaster Valamadi took 2 minutes 20 seconds. Toastmaster Anuradha took 2 minutes 47 seconds. Toastmaster Bindu took 3 minutes 10 seconds. Toastmaster Jyoti Thomas took 3 minutes 17 seconds. And then we are coming to table topics. Toastmaster Shweta took 1 minute 22 seconds. Toastmaster Aravind took 57 seconds. Guest Chaitanya took 47 seconds. Toastmaster Bala took 1 minute 25 seconds. Toastmaster Anuradha took 1 minute 30 seconds. Toastmaster Nitya took 1 minute 12 seconds. Toastmaster Ananya took 1 minute 3 seconds. Guest Soumya took 55 seconds, and then last Toastmaster Anandita took 1 minute. 1 minute. That's all. Thank you, and over to you, General Evaluator.
He was like a news reader. Give it off to our timer. Well done, Toastmaster Nishant. Now it's time for a beautiful accounter who's going to beautify our speech today. Toastmaster Shweta, the screen is yours.
Thank you, Reena ma'am. Let me share my screen. Is my screen visible? Okay. Starting from TMOD, TM Anandita, 5 plus R, and no repetitive word, no filler word, no long pauses. Speaker 1, TM Suresh, 5 plus R and 3 times repetitive word, no filler words, and no once long pauses. And speaker TM Ananya, 5 plus R and 5 plus repetitive words like so and speaker 3 TM Sankar, 3 R and no repetitive word, no filler word, and no long pauses. Evaluator 1 TM Anuradha, no R counter, so clap for TM Anuradha and kudos to her. Evaluator 2 TM Balarmati, 3 R and 3 repetitive word, no long pauses, and no filler words. Evaluator 3 TM Bindu, 2 R and no repetitive word, no filler word, and no long pause. Evaluator 4 TM Jyoti Thomas ma'am, no R counter, so just congratulations to Jyoti ma'am. And TT Master TM Anisha, 5 plus R and no filler word, no repetitive word, and no long pause. For myself, I didn't note, so sorry for that. And TT Speaker TM Aravind, 3 R and no repetitive word, no filler word, and no long pause. TT Speaker Guest Chaitanya, 2 R and no repetitive word, no long pause, no filler word. TM Anuradha in TT Speaker, no R counter. So congratulations. And TM Nitya ma'am, congratulations. You also not used any R counter. And TM Ananya also not any R counter in table topic. So clapping for Ananya. And TM, guest Soumya, 3 repetitive word, once long pause. And TTA speaker TM Anandita not used any R counter. Thank you. Over to you, General Evaluator ma'am.
Elaborate, beautiful accounter's report. Only thing is probably she did not count for us, her team members. I think I personally had 2 accounts and I did not see, I did not notice anything about Nishant and Bala. So with that note, a fabulous report, a big round of applause for our accounter Shweta. Now it's time for me to move for my general evaluators report, which starts from the start. It starts at the beginning with Sergeant at Arms. Big round of applause because you started it on time. The meeting started at 4 p.m. and it set, Toastmaster Nishant, you set the tone by briefing about Toastmasters International and also setting the rules and introduce the president, Toastmaster Nitya well. Moving on to our president. President commenced the meeting with an inspiring story on harmonious attitude and opened the meeting number 653. Guests were warmly welcomed and they were introduced to, the guest introduced the Chaitanya and guest Karthik. Now here is a recommendation. The MOM, the minutes of the previous meeting have to be read out by the secretary. So kindly make sure from the next meeting onwards, you allocate at least 1 to 2 minutes for the secretary or somebody to read out the previous meeting's minutes. She introduced the Toastmaster of the day very well. Well done, President Nitya. From there on, we move to Toastmaster of the day. She explained the theme and the 3 segments very well. She has got so much of experience as a Cavalier and also as a Toastmaster. She introduced the role players pretty well. Well done, Toastmaster of the day. Moving on to the prepared speeches, Suresh Singh, Toastmaster Suresh Singh, you beautifully broke the ice. I was very inspired how from being a little village boy in Jharkhand to becoming an IT professional in a bank in Chennai. The continuous learning journey was really inspirational. Well done on this breaking the ice. Speech 2 was another icebreaker. Now this time it's all written of the Toastmaster. Suresh Singh and Ananya are coming back to Wordsmiths with full force, and what a beautiful speech on live the experience. 13 and Ananya is unique, multi-talented. How the journey in Taekwondo and dance, it's transformed from being cajoled by giving you samosa to becoming your passion. Fantastic job done. Congratulations, Toastmaster Ananya, on completing your icebreaker. Speaker 3, Shankar, style of communication. There were so many things that was going on. For every style, he was giving an example. What attracted me the most was people fell in love because of the words and not about physical beauty. And the use of please is really pleasing. Communicate like a chameleon. Fabulous job done. Congratulations, Toastmaster Shankar. Toastmaster Nitya, investment within yourself. It was a short meditation class that I received from you. Thank you, meditation guru Nitya. And then moving on to, so all the prepared speeches excellently delivered. Fantastic job done, speakers. Now moving on to the table topics. Table topics master Anisha explained the segment very beautifully, and she used the theme of the day interestingly by giving emojis as the topics. Fantastic job done. So a big round of applause to Toastmaster Anisha. You went on to first give the opportunity to non-role players, and then the tag team role players were called in and also willing guests. And after that, since we exhausted all the speakers over there and we had enough time, you called the other role players. Super job done. Coming to the table topic speakers, Speaker 1, Shweta, laughing voluntarily. I couldn't stop myself laughing when you started giggling and laughing and talking. You were so good. I was really thinking what's happened to her, but then that's what you wanted to convey, that you have to start laughing voluntarily and then it spreads. Very well done. Toastmaster Arvind, awkward smile. I don't know why she chose that. No, she didn't choose that. You were not there, so you got this awkward smile. And how beautifully you were connecting it to your VP education role. Well done, Toastmaster Arvind. Only thing that I really hope the next time you will overshoot the 2 minutes. Now, guest Chaitanya, the masked up emoji. He's a guest and he spoke like an experienced Toastmaster. He spoke his life in office and his relief be working at home. And then moved on to our grammarian, Bala, a bitter god emoji is what he got. He reminisced the Nokia era emojis and then went on to speak, talking relevant to the topic was when it spoke about mom's bitter god juice. Well done. Toastmaster Anuradha, cool emoji. She used the technique of speaking for and against the topic. Well done. Engineering practicals and record submission, not so cool. And really, you see mathematics as cool. Guru, you are a guru for me. Now moving to the 6th speaker, President Nitya, brainstorming emoji, homemaker who takes her brain out every morning and storms it. Kitchen brainstorming. No wonder you are a meditation guru. Well done there. Toastmaster Ananya, celebrating emojis, your life, your college days in VIT, how after exams, the faculty members and the students were celebrating and enjoying after exams. Very well done, relevant to the topic. Now coming to guest Soumya, you spoke relevantly on hope, preparing for UPSC exams and struggles that you are going through the COVID times, and yet that hope keeps it alive, that you would someday become the leader that you want to. Congratulations, you did a fabulous job. Well done, guest Soumya. And the last one is our Toastmaster of the day, Anandita, how her friends related her with the sleeping emoji. Well done. She is an experienced Toastmaster, so you have done a fabulous job. All the 9 speakers, a big round of appreciation and applause from everybody to the table topic speakers. Now, moving on to the evaluators. Toastmaster Valarmati, Toastmaster Anuradha, Toastmaster Bindu, and Toastmaster Jyoti had used the CRC or commendation, recommendation, commendation techniques, or the sandwich techniques, where they used positive points to encourage, and then they gave the recommendation in a very positive way, in a constructive way, where I'm sure the speakers will be utilizing those recommendations to enhance their speech, and left all the speakers at a high note with an inspiring closing. Well done to all my evaluators today. Tag team role players, you were fantastic today, and I've already given you feedback on that, and a few more recommendations. Instead of using TM, for example, calling TM Shweta, please use the full form Toastmaster, Toastmaster Shweta. So instead of saying TM Shweta, we will say Toastmaster Shweta. And then requesting the speakers and role players to avoid last minute backing out. Kindly don't do that. The entire planning goes for a toss. Though I'm sure our VP Education would have backups for speakers, but literally last minute backout will be very difficult to manage. So let us together enjoy by giving all the support that is required for our XCOM team to make quality meetings. All these meetings cannot be just done by the XCOM team. It has to be, it is for us. It's a democratic way. It is for us, the members. So we will have to make sure we support and help the XCOM team to support and help us to have quality meetings. So with that note, signing off is your General Evaluator, Reena. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day, Anandita.
Thank you, DTM Reena, for your constructive feedback, and thank you all the evaluators. So before concluding today's session, let me tell you a small trick that I use when I actually send messages on WhatsApp. So when I use the normal, I don't know whether this is applicable for everyone. I've seen people my age doing it, so it's a quick way for you to guess whether the other person on the end is actually reacting to your message or not. So when you get the email notification using keyboard symbols, then it means the person is pissed and not impressed with what you said. But if you get the actual emoji, then yeah, maybe you are getting reaction. So and now when you look at the WhatsApp list of emojis, you see a lot of new emojis added. At first, it was just 60 emojis, and now there are like 80. And I think recently they've added this smiling, crying while smiling emoji, which is extremely popular right now. You can see many students, I've seen many of my classmates and some people in Toastmasters using the same emoji most of the time. So yeah, so what I'm trying to say is use your emojis right. Try to try to use your appropriate emojis, and try not to confuse the other person. And yeah, that's it. And now over to the Toastmaster of the day. Sorry, President. Sorry. I'm so sorry. Over to the presiding officer.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Anandita, for that very live and very vibrant conduct of this Toastmaster session of today's all the proceedings. Really enjoyed it. And now I'm going to start making the announcements. In that time, the polls can be launched. So as I speak, the polls can be launched and we can save the time. Please vote for all the role players, speakers. So the first announcement is that next Saturday, we have something very interesting and very enriching, and I'm sure none of you want to miss it. We are going to have an educational session on how to prepare for the international speech contest. It is going to be done by, it's like a master class for you. It's going to be done by a very senior Toastmaster of our club. He is a district champion and also he has taken part in the international world championships. Toastmaster Sridhar Ranganathan. Make sure you set your reminders and attend this session and make use of all the points that he's telling you. We have our club contest for international speech and table topic speech on 19th of February. Some of the contest roles are still available and open. Please contact the VP Education to book yourself for these roles. It's going to be a very good learning experience and leadership skills. Apart from that, this is the basic announcement. So now we can continue with the polls. The details of the contests will be announced by the VP in the coming days. I would like to call on the VP Education for and also giving the roll call for the next session.
Yeah, in a minute. Yeah, I have my screen. So there is a speech slot available for February 12. I think Toastmaster Valamati has asked. So that is allotted. And all the three roles for the entire month of February is present for the 3 meetings. So is there any volunteers for TMOD, TTMGE for any of the meetings in February?
Arvind, per speech, you can mention my name on 26 February.
Is it name Shankar?
Suresh.
Okay, Suresh. Yeah, since I won't be able to see you, it is better to say the name and the role you want. Anyone else for the roles? And evaluators?
Arvind, I'll have to look at my calendar. I have some assignments. If I'm free, I'll ping you. Okay?
Yeah, okay, ma'am, sure.
Toastmaster Aravind, shall I take timer role on February 5th? This is Valamati.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. In a 12th only is the speech available, no?
Yes,
Okay.
February 5th, you can mention my name for table topic master.
Toastmaster Suresh?
Yeah.
Okay.
TMOD is not open for the next week.
Yes.
I can take it up.
Okay, ma'am.
I can take grammarian role on 5th February.
Okay.
Sweta.
Okay. Evaluators, there are 2 speeches on Feb 5th and 4 on February, 3 on Feb 26. Anyone willing to take the role of evaluator?
Nishant, February 12, speaker.
Can you take it on February 26th?
26. I'll let you know offline. Okay.
Okay. Anyone else taking up the roles on February 26th? Okay, thank you. And over to the presiding officer.
Thank you, Toastmaster Arvind. It's time now to announce the winners of today's session. Before we announce the winners, I want to give a standing ovation to our icebreaker speakers, Toastmaster Ananya and Toastmaster Suresh. Please give them a huge round of applause for starting their pathway in our club. And now for our today's winners. The best tag player goes to Toastmaster Bala. Please give a huge round of applause. The best role player goes to our general evaluator of today, DTM Reena. The best TT speaker goes to Toastmaster Ananya. Please give huge round of applause. Please clap. The best evaluator goes to Jyoti ma'am. Goes to Jyoti. And she's in Zen mode right now. And best speaker goes to myself, Nitya. So a heartfelt thanks to all of you for attending the session and making it so much enriching and very enlivening. And with that, I would like to close the meeting.
Nityaji, your guest feedback.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, I would like to ask the guests for their feedback, starting with guest Chaitanya.
Yeah, this time I've seen some improvement. There's been you've actually taken the time as I planned exactly. So things are planned out very well, and the execution also is really good this time. So this was the improvement which was taken as a follow-up last week, right? I think you had a survey, and that survey points have been considered very well. So I see this improvement. Kudos to your team for that.
Thank you, Chaitanya, and we look forward to seeing you in our sessions again.
Sure.
I think our other guests have left the session. Soumya is here. Soumya, would you like to share your feedback with us?
Hello, ma'am.
Soumya, would you like to share your feedback?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Like this was an interesting platform I ever had. I never had like the sessions before. All age of people are there and very sweetly presenting everything. Really good, ma'am. And Nitya, ma'am, you are really awesome. First, I impressed of you. Thank you for okay, ma'am. Then I'd like to join here, ma'am. Next, what I have to do procedure for joining this club?
Yeah, Soumya, that you can. I will share the number of our VP membership with you. Please get in touch with him for the further procedures and whatever information you need. I've already shared the number with you in the chat. And thank you so much for your kind words. But you have only seen the tip of the iceberg in this club. When you join this club, you're going to see the veterans and the stars of the club. You already who are here present with us, like DTM Reena and all. And you will be really learning so much, and you'll be totally, your mind will be blown away by what you see in the club. So this is one tip of the iceberg that you're seeing right now. So thank you for attending and thank you for feedback. So as the guest feedback is now taken, I would like to adjourn the meeting 6:53 and open the floor for networking. Thank you.